we weren't sharp, we weren't crisp. We didn't do a good enough job spending time in their end, and you have results like that where at one point they have more goals than you have shots on net. So I feel bad for our goalies. We left them out to dry. They battled hard. I think the third period's a bit of a throwaway. 6-1. Teams usually sit back and things like that. I think the one big thing, it was nice to see Cole score. I know it's been a long time, so hopefully that can build his confidence. And moving forward, I think the only thing we'll take out of this tomorrow is that fortunately we don't have to sit on it too long. We got another hungry team tomorrow in Washington, and a very similar spot to where the Islanders are, and if not hungrier because they're a little closer. So another desperate team, another team that's going to come out flying. So we got to find a way to get our legs. We got to find a way to have a good start. I think that's one of those things that's kind of put us on our heels. Is teams have come out, they've forechecked us hard, and we haven't had the answer per se. So
right.
I watched the film tonight. We're going to review some things, I think. But ultimately, I don't think it's, X's and O's. I think it's more compete. It's more about winning our one-on-one battles. Situationally, I think I won one face-off tonight. So, there's a lot of areas in the game where, if we look at ourselves individually, that we probably weren't helping the team collectively. So, it's frustrating, disappointing result. But, I can't go back. We can't change that. So, we got to turn the page and get ready for Washington because, we're going to have a much better game than we did today.
Is it a case of maybe just not matching the you guys are in a very different spot than the teams you played these last two games, so not suggesting it's complacency, but you don't maybe have the same desperation that they would, and is it just a case of not matching that early in games?
I understand the point you're making. I don't think that can be an excuse for a reason. We've got things we're fighting for. We know where Colorado and Dallas are, games in hand, and how critical home ice is, and how crucial points are. The difference in having last change in the playoffs and getting to play in front of your fans. We might be comfortably in a playoff spot, but the seeding's not
right.
Set in stone. There's still a lot to play for. So that's one of those things we've got to be ready to go from the start, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of how many games we've played recently. It's our job to put ourselves in the best possible situations to succeed. So we have to realize the situation other teams are in, and be able to match that intensity, if not bring another level even greater than theirs.
Thanks, guys. Today started the way it did. You guys didn't have a little more jump, maybe?
Yeah, we just weren't any good in the first two periods. They're a desperate team over there, and obviously fighting for their playoff lives. And we know the style of game that they bring. Their MO is playing hard, going to the net, crashing the net, and their forecheck and defensive game. So you always know it's going to be a hard game against them, especially in this rink. And we didn't match that intensity, and that's the result we got in the first two periods.
You guys have been such a dominant 5-on-5 team. The fact that pretty much all the offense today came at 5-on-5, a little surprising too, right?
Yeah. I don't know where we'll sit after that game, but we've been, really one of the best defensive teams in the league, 5-on-5 all year, and we pride ourselves on playing that way. That's the reason that we've had a good year so far, and the reason we're in a position to fight for a division title in the Central is that we is our defensive game and our 5-on-5 play. So clearly that wasn't there tonight, and we'll play a team tomorrow that I think just put up 7 last night. So we need to bring our identity, bring our game. Jersey was a weird night with the special teams. We know our game is right there as it was for most of the Ranger game. So find that game again tomorrow and, be who we are.
When you see Connor Hellebuck get lifted, that hasn't happened, I think, in almost 13 months, going back to last season, as a trophy favorite. Is there almost a collective feeling of misfortune when you see that happen? Disappointment?
Yeah, certainly not on him. The type of year he's having, the performances that he does, that he puts out there for us day in, day out, all of this season and for a long time, certainly my entire career here. I definitely don't think that was on him, and that's on us to be better in front of him. So we feel we owe him a tight game, a tight defensive game, and we can't be giving up the type of chances, grade A's that we were.
Josh, 50 assists on the season with your one today and 300 points. I know in a game like this, you're not thinking of anything like that, but nice to hit those marks, I guess, as you try and move forward here.
Yeah, obviously just tough to answer that one.
Yeah.
Those individual things are great, but right now it's about finding our team identity and getting back to that game tomorrow. Like I said earlier, we know when we're at our best, we don't give up very much. We're a defense-first team, and we don't give up chances 5-on-5. So that's where the focus is. Those individual things, they don't matter to me.
Josh, 3 shots in the first period and only a handful in the beginning of the second period. Is there something the Islanders were doing, or was it something on your end that didn't lead to any of that?
Usually when the shots are that lopsided, it's everything. Like I said earlier on, they're a team that competes really hard. They're physical. Their forecheck game, defensive game, they're a hard-nosed team, and they were just winning every battle, faster to pucks, better execution, more desperate all over the ice. And that's what you see when you see a lopsided shot clock like that. You've got to win battles, you've got to make plays, you've got to execute in order to get into the O-zone and have an opportunity to shoot the puck. And we just did none of those things through the first 2 periods. You got to give them credit. They brought their game and they played to their identity, and they brought their desperation. But we didn't do anything to match that and bring our fundamentals of the game. So I think we're just looking at our third period like we can build off that and take it in it tomorrow. Best part about the league is that you always get another shot at someone. So right back at it tomorrow, and we have to be at our best.
That game, the first period, rank for you this year one of the worst?
Yeah, both periods, not just the first. I think that was that's the first time we've had to pull our goaltender all year. Left both those guys out to dry, and first time most goals we've given up. So that was just not enough desperation in those first 2 periods how we needed to play.
Yeah, what do you attribute that to? It looks like you guys really struggled. That first goal was sort of a weird one off the face-off, but the next 2 in that first period were off the rush, and they kind of gave you fits that way, right?
It was a little bit of everything. It really was. Our forecheck wasn't very good. We gave up odd man rushes. Our breaking out, our D-zone coverage. There's a little bit. It was almost everything, and it was everybody involved in it. It was just that team, obviously, we knew they were going to be desperate, and we have to match. And we have our own little race going. That we have to recognize that we don't really need to care about these teams in the East. We got a race going in the West that we have to make sure that we're ready to go every night.
Looked like you had a little conversation with Connor. I'm sure you were loath to pull him, but what do you say to him in a situation like that?
Move on. His team in front of him isn't very good, and just don't want to see him go through any more of that, and we'll move on. So.
Would it change your plan at all for tomorrow? Or?
We'll see. I'll talk to Flats, and we'll talk about it, and we'll just move forward.
Right. Third period, can you take much away from that? Because they're easing off the gas probably at that point, right? But
well, the only thing that we can sort of get from that is that when we do play the right way and we do put some push into it, we spent half the period down there, and I know it was 6-1 at the time, but at the same time, there's a way we need to play, and that was a lot closer to how we need to play than what we saw in the first two periods.
Right. You sort of made full-scale changes on the forward lines.
I mean, had to do something.
Yeah.
Right? Had to do something. So had to change the look. Same thing with, we'll talk about that and look at that and maybe see how we go tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.